everyone, this is Moni from PTE Magic.
And this is Anusha from Milestone Study. Today we are here together to share some of our experiences with our recent tests and also clear some doubts of our students. So Moni, I know that you've recently taken one test. I think it was in Vietnam, I'm not too sure. So can we know how you did it, what you did, especially with the one-line strategy and other strategies that you have experimented with?
Yeah, thanks, Anusha. So I actually did two tests. Because the reason why I did two tests was because it was my first time doing the test in Vietnam. And before testing some theories, I wanted to make sure that I could get 90 all bands before taking another attempt. And I did get 90 and share the score report with the students. And then I went to take the test the second time, just 1 week after, just to test the one-line strategy. And unfortunately, I could not get 90 for that test. Even though in the official Pearson score mock test, I got 90 in speaking. And then when I went to do the test and did very similar thing, so was reading one line, like sometimes the first sentence, sometimes the second, sometimes the last, and somehow ended up not getting 90 for the test. And a lot of students have been asking me to do the test again because they were thinking that I was not doing it correctly. But what do you think about one-line strategy, Anusha?
Yeah, I've also made one full video and some students are still doubtful as to whether it works or not. And some students have come up to me and asked me, how did you do it? Can you show me one video and make one video for us? It's actually okay to use it, honestly. I've done two tests with them, with you using the same strategies, and I've got in one I got 86, I think, and the other one I got 90. For the reading marks, I got 89 once and or 87 another time. So I'm not too sure if I made mistakes in the reading section, which I don't think I did, or was it because of the read aloud section that I got less marks. And I also applied it in my class. I told all my students to do it. Somehow it didn't work. Somehow some students got very less scores, so we stopped it in class.
So I actually talked to a few people in the industry who tried that in the exam, and they also got pretty high scores, but not consistent. And I also know students who got 90 by using that. But at the same time, if I couldn't get it myself, I can't just like recommend that in my video, because I will be responsible for their scores. So yeah, but in any case, I will go to the test and do it again. But can you share how you did it normally, like with the one-line strategy?
Yeah, I can. Actually, I can show you one here. So with the first one, what I would do in the exam is just read from this part here, the provision until societies. That's all. And then I would click next immediately without waiting. Okay, so something like this. The provision of accurate and authoritative statistical information strengthens modern societies, and then click next.
And then with the next one, were you just reading the first again, or you are reading like the second one?
In between, like from the middle, like here? No, I don't think I tried that.
So in each read aloud passage, you just read the first line?
First line, yes.
Yeah, I tried that in one of the mock tests, and I couldn't get 90. And then in another mock test, I was reading random lines, random sentences, and was getting 90.
And also with different students, they have different ways. So just by watching a video, I don't think anyone should attempt this. They need a bit of like go or no go. Like, are you good or not? Okay, if they can judge themselves, it's good. But otherwise, you need to have somebody tell you that it's good or it's not good. With one-line strategy, what we can conclude at the moment is you can do it, but just with like proper guidance. Don't just go on and like experiment whether you do it perfectly or you don't do it at all. You read everything.
I think definitely try to do it with the mock test first.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you can get a high score, at least in the mock test, before doing it in the real test. Otherwise, you have to pay another $375.
85, I think.
85. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Now, I've got one question. There are so many templates, and I've done a lot of templates. I've used them in the exam as well. But some students fail even after using the templates, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What could be the main reason for that?
Yeah, so when we talk about the templates, we should talk about which templates for which skills, right? Because we have templates for speaking, for writing, and also summarized spoken text, right? Are we talking about speaking or are we talking about writing?
We could talk about speaking first, and then we can move on to the rest.
Yeah. So I think obviously templates help you to maintain the fluency, but there are other criteria when it comes to marking the speaking, like pronunciation and the content. And sometimes when students answer the retail lecture questions, for example, and all I can hear is the templates. I can't even hear the keywords. You know, so the keyword will give them points for speaking and listening simultaneously. So they will have to make sure that the pronunciation of the keywords is also clear.
Templates, we definitely need templates. Without templates, it's going to be hard for them to speak for so long. But use them correctly and make sure that whatever templates they are using, they know the correct pronunciation of those. And at the same time, they're listening to the audio as well. Just don't rely on the template. Now we have another question. Most of the students are also concerned with this. How important is pronunciation? Are templates all enough, or how important is pronunciation in the speaking section and grammar in the writing sections?
So with the pronunciation, I think Pearson, since 2016, they keep improving the system, the AI speech recognition. You don't have to be speaking like a native speaker, but you have to speak in a way that it's clear. And for example, if the word contains 4 syllables, you can't just say 3 syllables and miss the middle syllables.
Yeah.
For example, the word necessarily is an adverb, but when you try to speak really fast and when you just say necessary, missing "ly", then it's already another word.
Yes, and also like instead of saying necessarily, you could say Nestle. That's also wrong.
Yeah, so students having a lot of pressure to speak fast because they think that that's how they can get a higher score. But then when they speak fast, they also risking to lose points on pronunciation.
Right.
So they have to combine the two.
Yeah, and balance them.
Yeah.
What about grammar in the writing?
In order to avoid grammar mistakes, you should use templates in essay writing, and you should also keep the structure for summarized written text simple.
Yes.
Otherwise, don't try to paraphrase too much. Otherwise, you will make a lot of grammar mistakes.
Yeah. Now, for the write from dictation, you said that you've tried an experiment with writing 2 words, 3 words, extra words. What about the grammar part in that section?
I don't think they score grammar. If we look at the marking criteria, it only says you get 0 point for each word spelled incorrectly, and you get 1 point for each word spelled correctly. And some even say that the order doesn't even matter in the test. I don't say that to students, but then a lot of people have been saying that the order doesn't matter in write from dictation. What do you think?
Now, with me, I do teach them to write in order, especially when they are looking for higher bands for 8. So somebody targeting 8 should not make mistakes in write from dictation. That's what I feel. Because the sentences would be very simple, easy to understand, and the spellings would not be too hard. So I do push them a lot in improving these things like, you know, grammar. And because grammar is essential not just for one section, it's like throughout the test you are tested in certain ways. You have to fill in the blanks, you have to know where the noun, where's the adjective, what's the adverb. So I do push them to learn grammar in class, but overall for certain section, for right from dictation especially, they just mark your word, they don't mark. I also seen that they say there's a mark for order, but I don't think they do mark the order. Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, I think we should still do the right things.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we could add extra word when it comes to right from dictation. But recently, it's just beside me, there are also other teachers who have tried to add a lot of words in right from dictation and were losing points. So
But was that in the real test or the mock test?
In the real test. Yeah. So but did you try it you tried in the real test, right?
No, I haven't tried the double words in right from. I haven't tried. Yeah. I didn't feel the need to, honestly.
Anyway, so I wanted to ask you because with Milestone Studies, you guys focus a lot on Nepalese students. And we actually also have some Nepalese students in our classes. And I just wanted to ask, what is the biggest difference when it comes to Nepalese students and other international students you taught? And what are the main weaknesses that you found?
Because I'm a Nepali, I know the schooling, the background, how we have been brought up. So I can connect with them a lot. And the main difference, I would say, is again the belief system. So I don't know about other nationals. They do believe, but when I say, when like Anusha says, do this, then they just do it. You know, they don't question. If they do question, I don't know. I think that's the biggest difference. I haven't taught a lot of Vietnamese and Filipinos, but for Nepalese students, they just believe what I say and then they do it. And that's how most of them are getting their scores now. Because if you don't believe your tutor, it's hard. It's hard to get your score. That's in the first attempt. For the pronunciation, definitely there is this sh and s sounds. Like instead of saying shoulder, they would say solder, or something like that. So that's one problem. But honestly, that's not a big issue for PTE.
Well, I have a lot of Indian students, and sometimes they have issues with singular and plural. So they're using singular noun with the plural verbs, or the other way around.
Yeah, same thing, but again, it depends on schooling. It depends on what they've learned. Have they, did they take proper classes in school or not? So there's like half and half, you know. I can't say for 100% people. I can't generalize this thing.
So does word count matter when it comes to writing? Like, is there any specific number of words that you have to write in summarized written text, in essay writing, and in summarized spoken text?
Absolutely not. As long as you are within the word limit. So for example, we've got summarized written text. You can write 5 to 75, right? You can get 90 by just writing 16 words. 20 words, doesn't matter. You don't have to reach 60 or 65 to get full marks. And same goes out for essays. You can write 200 words exactly and still get full points. For the summarized spoken text, 50 exactly and get the full points.
The next question that a lot of students have been asking is, what is the most effective way to prepare for reading? When students join the class, they all say, oh, I need tips, I need tricks for reading. What do you think about that?
Like every day I get tons of messages asking me the same thing. What's the trick for reading? First of all, you can only have a trick for read aloud. That is the one-line strategy, and the trick for summarized written text. But there is no trick for fill in the blanks and reorders. As long as I'm concerned, I can't give you any trick. But definitely there are strategies like, okay, you need to know the collocation, and when you read it, read very fast. But what I think they should do is read and understand it properly. What do you think? I can't answer this in one line.
I think it really depends on the type of the questions, and really depends on the questions, because some of the questions you can use some strategies to approach the questions. For example, in reorder paragraph, for example, if in one sentence, like in A, there's a name, like I think there's one question, the student's name Nathan in Monash University. Like in A is Nathan, but in D is Ne. So normally the full form will come before the short form. So the sentence containing her first name and her full name will her last name will come before the sentence with only her first name. Some small strategies like that, but the rarely you get the like all the real paragraph questions with the names. So it's just like, it depends, depending on the questions, you can find certain strategies, but there's no like tricks, that the trick that you can outsmart the computer to get a high score. So for example, in fill in the blanks, reading and writing, where you have to select out of 4 words, and if you don't know any of the 4 words, I don't think you can use any trick here. Like what is the trick? Like select the third word or select the second. Yeah. So you need to practice more to learn more vocabulary and collocations. And I think with reading, fill in the blanks, drag and drop, you can use certain grammatical rules.
Yes.
To eliminate the wrong answers.
Yes. Yeah, so grammar, this is where grammar plays a part. And you know what I tell students when they say, what if I don't know all the words, and what if I'm stuck with all the 4 options, weird 4 options? Then I tell them, see, nobody is coming there, no divine power is coming there for your help. Nobody from background music will tell you, okay, A is the answer. So don't rely on any of them. Just move on. Just pick one and move on. Sorry, I just want to add something for the marking. A lot of students run after marking, like how many marks for this question? What's the weight for this question? What I tell in the class is, don't worry about how many marks there are. Worry about, is it important or not? Don't quantify it. Just work on, if it's important, you're going to do it. If it's not important, don't worry much about it. I think you guys have the app as well, right? For your PTE Magic?
Yeah.
So we have the platform, and we also have our app is actually will be released next month. Because we were trying to make sure that it's running correctly before release it. So we've been working on it for like a year.
Oh,
so
wow.
It will be released next month. But with the platform, we have this one here, where the students can practice with different question types, and then they can also do mock tests. So for example, when they do the mock test on our platform, they can see the scores here.
Okay.
They can see the scores here, and they can also see the details, like how they did it for different questions. Like, and by doing mock test, it's just I think mock test is one of the most essential thing in our course, and the speaking is also marked by AI. Same as Pearson. Yeah. Not the same. Similar. Yeah. But there are a lot of platforms. There are a lot of platforms in the market right now. But it's just for us, it's easier if we can control, the quality.
Because Pearson's AI is very secret, and I don't think anyone has it. I don't know.
Yeah, we normally compare. So we let students do the mock test and then compare their scores with Pearson, or sometimes compare the scores with the real test. And because the platform has been released since 2019, so we keep working on the bugs and on improving the quality. And even Pearson, they will change the algorithm. So we can't stay the same for a long time.
Yes. So as you've been doing YouTube, I've been doing YouTube, we know a lot of students watch our videos and then get inspiration, get some ideas and take their test, get their desired score. But there are certain students who come back to those videos and tell, like some students come and say, oh, the trick doesn't work, I didn't get my score, this is fake. So what about those students? What kind of students they are, and what kind of students are those who get their scores? What do you think? What's the reason they didn't get their score?
So yeah, it's really hard to point out on specific reasons, because it also depends on students. And when you join the class, you can't expect that you just pay for the course and you don't do any homework and you don't study properly and get your desired score.
What do you have to say to those students who fail? Like, how quickly should they take the next attempt?
For us, it always depends on the mock test. So they have to score high in the mock test. Not if they target 79, we don't expect them to get at like exactly 79 or above 79, but at least closer to that before they, or like their mock test has to be better than their previous score, the test score. Then and it works every time. So every time when students get higher than 79 or like closer to 79, then he definitely passed the test in the real test. Yeah, that's how we recommend students.
Okay. Personally, I don't rely on any marking. I just check their performance and tell them you're ready, you're not ready by just looking at their performance.
Yeah, but that's how we check their performance, by looking at the mock test, because we can see all the answers in the mock test. Like they don't have to record anything because it's already recorded by the system. So we can see the answers, we can see their pronunciation, their fluency, and it's much faster for us to check that way. Yeah. We give them homework after every class. They have to send homework. They can send as many homework as they want. And we have a teacher who will give them detailed feedbacks on each of the tasks.
Okay. About YouTube videos, there are so many YouTube teachers like you and I who are, teaching online. Yeah. Should the students only rely on these videos, or they are supposed to take some formal classes as well?
Again, it depends. I have many students who just pass by watching my videos. And then there are other students who need more support to practice, because like when you learn from YouTube, you're just observing the knowledge, but you need to also practice and get feedback. It depends on where you are and what is your target. So if you are only at 50 or 40 something and you need 79, then yes, definitely you need to get a proper coaching. But if you have IELTS 7 or 7.5 and you need 79, then maybe sometimes YouTube videos enough will be fine.
Yeah. So you're saying that their previous performance or their previous marks would be an ideal way to gauge their level, and then maybe say, okay, maybe I'll need 1 month course, I'll need 2 weeks course, and all of those things, right? I see so many students coming and saying, I have 50 and I need 65 and I can only give you 1 week. And it's a hard time for me. It's hard. Yeah, so what do you think? Those who are at 50 but they need 65, and those who are at 65 they need 79, how long should they practice? And
50 to 65, normally I will recommend 1 month. Because but then some students, for example, their visa is almost expired, then they have no option. I had a student in the past where, like, for example, today is 28, and then she's saying that her visa will expire on the 7th of October. Yeah. And like on that day, and she needs to get the score before the 7th of October. And I'm like, what if the score will come out very late? Because sometimes it happens. It doesn't.
5 days, more than 5 days.
Yeah, and she's like, I will take the risk. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So you need to be prepared in advance. You need to do your research and you need to give enough time to prepare. But yeah, from 50 to 65 a month, 3 weeks to 1 month.
Yeah, correct. If they can fully commit their time to PTE, then definitely 1 month should be enough. But working, family, studying, so many things, especially in Australia, I don't think from 50 to 65, 1 month from, I think it's not enough, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying because like we have students from 50 to 65 after 1 month.
Yes.
Because you don't know why. Yeah, you don't know why they got 50 at the first place. So some students got 50 only because they didn't join any coaching before and they just went to do the test. So after they joined, they learned a lot of tricks and then they applied into the test. And in some cases, we have students getting more than 65. They get like they join with 50, but they got 79 or even 80.
Yes, because they didn't apply any tricks. They just took it as IELTS. Okay. And I think this is the last question for you, and maybe it applies to me as well. How do we run courses, and how are they different from our YouTube videos? What will they find, or what should they expect when they join our courses?
Maybe you start first.
So it's totally different. First of all, the way they watch videos and the time they are in the class. They need to speak in front of me. I'll give them feedback like, okay, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. Normally I would recommend 1 month course. As you also said, 1 month course should be enough for most of them. So in those all like our weekends are off, so on the weekdays we try to see their progress day by day. So today we do describe image. I'll give them the templates, and then tomorrow they come and perform. And based on that performance, I'll say, okay, your speed is fine, your pronunciation is good, you have to work on this, you have to go back and do this thing. They go back and then come back again. So this is how we run our courses, and for 1 month. And they can also take longer durations. As you know, there are like unlimited courses, 6 months courses. We also offer them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, same goes up for writing as well. We'll check their essays, we'll check their summer. So nothing is automated in my case, because as I said, I don't rely on marking. We do this, like I do it, like I see their template and then say, okay, this is the right way. You've made mistakes here. That's how. So what about you?
I think we are a bit similar, but we also have something different. We also have different classes depending on how much time they need. The quickest one is 2 weeks, and then the longest one is 6 months. We don't have like really unlimited. They can always upgrade later, but it's just the reason why we don't do unlimited is because students don't have that sense of urgency, and then they just keep studying, and then they don't really book the test. And then it's not really organized. So when the students join the class, we divide the skills into 2 weeks. So the first week they do speaking and writing, and the second week they do listening and reading. We also have grammar classes on Saturday. And when they join, they will get a checklist. So the checklist means like in the first week, what they need to do. For example, like they have to know the templates for the speaking, for the describe image, for the retail lecture. They have to know this template, what they need to do in the second week. And then they have to tick all the checklist as they study. And then they also have the study plan. And during the class, obviously, they can interact with the trainer. They can practice and get the feedback. After the class, they will get the homework, and then they need to do the homework. Otherwise, nobody likes homework, but then homework is how you apply what you learn in the class into practice. And then when they finish the course, we will remind them to do the mock test. And then once they complete the mock test, we will schedule one-on-one review with the trainer just to sit like via Zoom to go through each of the answers and tell them where they need to improve on. And then when we feel ready, we just tell them to book the test. But most of the time, students just book the test on their own because they have to apply for visa. I feel like with education industry is not really profitable because we're giving them a lot of, benefits and time. And it's not just that once the students finish, we don't have any responsibilities because students will come back and ask questions. And we will always ready to answer the questions. I think same as you. If the students, and even if they don't pass for some reason, they come back and we still assist them. I think you'll do the same thing. So hopefully this video answers some of the questions that you guys have been wondering, and we also wish you to pass your PTE exam very soon. And
Yes,
yeah, please comment below if you have any questions. Yeah.
Yes. Any comments or any maybe next video, what would you like to maybe ask? You have specific questions, please write them down and we'll try to address them in the next video.